Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, Maximizing C-Store Profitability Through More Strategic Loyalty Efforts. C-Store loyalty programs can be expensive to launch and sustain, and yet the most successful ones are reaping significant returns. In fact, Paytronic's 2025 loyalty report found that stores with above average loyalty transactions see at least 80% of their members returning every month, with top performing retailers, those in the 90th percentile and above, seeing return rates of 85%. The secret to becoming one of those programs? Well, fortunately, it's not a secret. In fact, today we're talking to two industry leaders who will share their experience backed tips on how C stores can improve customer engagement by offering added value. We'll also explore the benefits of relying on analytics and automation to do much of this heavy lifting. But before we get started, I have just a few housekeeping items. Please note the slides will advance automatically throughout the presentation. To enlarge the slides, click the Enlarge Slides button located in the top right corner of your presentation window. If you need technical assistance, click on the Help widget located on the bottom left corner of your console. We encourage you to submit questions at any time throughout the presentation using the Q&A widget at the bottom of your console. We will try to answer these during the webcast, but if a fuller answer is needed or we run out of time, it will be answered later via email. Please know we do capture all questions. Why don't you both introduce yourselves and share a little bit about your background in the C-Store loyalty ecosystem? Jeff?
Thanks, Megan. Yeah, I'm Jeff Hoover. I'm a director of strategy and analytics here. Used to be data insights, but here at Paytronics, I've been here about 9 years. Before I joined Paytronics, I spent a lot of years in brand marketing, and just before joining, worked at Thornton's, which happened to be our first C-store client at Paytronics. I was on the other side of the desk at the time, but since then I've been, helping out other brands as we've grown to about 80 convenience store clients we service today, with loyalty and online ordering and other digital engagement initiatives. So we're just excited to be here and work with Jackson and other clients on, helping them capture great data and use that data to better segment and market to their customers and, drive real program ROI.
And Jackson?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, everyone. Hope that everyone tuning in is warm and safe as the country's been through some frigid temperatures recently. I've been in this space with C-stores and loyalty for about 3.5 years. It's been a great ride to see how everything has evolved during that time. When I first started, we only had one app and one program. Since then, we've added 2 more, so there's never a dull moment, and looking forward to discussing some of the experiences we've had and um, the support that we've had through Jeff and Paytronics as well. So excited to talk about the growth that we've gone through during this time.
Excellent. Thank you both so much for taking the time to let's jump right in. First, Jackson, through your work with TriStar Energy, you oversee several loyalty programs. Can you give us a brief overview of the brands you work with and highlight some key aspects of those programs?
Yeah, for sure. So here at TriStar Energy, we have 175 plus retail stores that go across the Middle Tennessee, Northern and Southern Alabama, Southern Kentucky footprints. We also have one site in Florida. We have various brands under that umbrella as well. So we have Twice Daily, White Bison Coffee, Sudden Service, Southern Traders, Little General, and Maverick Quick Shop, among others. Um, Among those, we have 3 of our programs that are partnered with Paytronics. So these are Twice Daily and White Bison Rewards, Sudden Rewards, and Little General Rewards. Each brand is unique, so that's why we've elected to go with 3 different programs, which has been really great as each program does have different offerings and reward structures. Each program, though, in general, is structured in a similar way. So each program is based on a bankable points structure, which allows us to accrue points on purchases, which can be saved up and then redeemed for eligible items in our catalogs. So these can be redeemed for whether it's a free item in store, sweepstakes entries, charitable donations with our partners, um, or other things. We do update this continuously just so that it stays fresh for our guests. The points are earned at a 10 points per gallon rate as well as a 20 points per dollar spent inside of our stores rate. We've implemented a double point accrual status as well, which activates when guests visit for the second time in a day. We've really liked this. It plays well with our moniker at twice daily, hopefully nudging towards the desired behavior of our guests stopping by 2 times a day for their favorites. Our programs also offer clubs, so they function on a buy seven, get eighth free arrangement. Depending on the program, we have clubs for baked goods, White Bison beverages, fountain and dispensed beverages and coffee, energy drinks, and king size candy. Um, a key aspect of our programs are our partnerships with vendors, as well as with local teams and organizations in our communities. Um, and these have been a really strong driver of product trial and new registrations with the programs. We've had wonderful partnerships with the Tennessee Titans and the Nashville Sounds. And in the past, we've also partnered with the Nashville Predators of the NHL. Our charitable partners that we've highlighted in the app are Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee, as well as the Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt. And those are some of the features that are available in our app where guests can also redeem points if they'd like to donate to those causes. Again, we update these programs frequently to prevent stagnation and reward guests with their favorites. We also offer member pricing and offers, which oftentimes offer a greater discount than what would be found in store and paying without going through our rewards program. But ultimately, our goal is always to drive great value for our guests. We want them to become customers for life as we strive to build lasting relationships within our communities.
Yeah, that's an impressive variety of opportunities that you offer. So thank you for going through that. But it does all start with enrollment and engagement. After all, a loyalty program is only valuable if customers are actually using it. So I'd like to ask you both, and Jeff, we'll start with you. What should C stores consider when making these programs accessible?
Yeah, I think it's about, especially in the C-store environment, there's such a diversity of the customers. There's people that come in their case for their made-to-order food offerings. There's other that come just for the typical center store items, whether it be tobacco-related products, lottery, or CPG items. So I think in designing a program, what we like to do, and we, with Twice Daily when they launched, and then after that, Little General and Sudden Service went through a program workshop to identify all the components of value in a program. And it's really important to have that core currency that tracks everyone you're earning as you're buying, whether it's, in store or at the pump. But then there's other elements where the club programs, and then it becomes, once you make sure you're establishing value, not just for one segment of customers, but all segments of customers and delivering value, then you can cast a wider net and attract more of those customers. But then I think what Twice Daily has done a great job is marketing their program. If you're in Nashville and their areas where they market, you see them on the billboard, you see them featuring their made to order, you see them on the sides of buses in marketing. So it's really important to obviously establish a program of value, but then make sure you're attracting customers in, not just when they're on your store, at your store, but when they're out in the public and talking about it. And that's where leveraging partnerships and getting people at their Tennessee Titans game, if they score at the end, last 2 minutes of half, taking that in and getting a free made to order sub, really connecting community to their stores and using it to drive trial and traffic. And then once a guest is there, they see the value, not just in that free sub, but then in, hey, I can sign in with my phone number or show my app very easily to earn points and earn other value. And then you're in their marketing stream where we can, there are a lot of campaigns that go out and offer incremental value to maybe try to get a customer to come one more time a day or a week or something like that. So I think, the first is making sure, right, that it's not just a tobacco program or not just a food program that casts a wide net and attracts the people. But then it's about making enrollment easy. Sure, you can download an app and go through all the process and register and be able to share a code. But once you sign that up, you can also easily identify yourselves with your phone number. Maybe you don't want to open the app. Maybe you just want a quick identification. So we try to offer those seamless ways for customers to identify themselves. We're also just recently launched at Baytronics Enroll at POS, where you can just provide your phone number and it triggers back a message to just text to see if you want to join. So that's yet another way that you can avoid not having to download an app and go through this full registration process. I'm happy to say that we're very close to implementing that with Twice Daily. It's a new offering and something that's very nuanced by the type of POS you have, but that will even allow us to grow more registrations for that people that didn't want to download an app or share their phone number via that method, an easy way to enroll. And then it's, once, you enroll, we're looking at other customers. We see that anywhere from 60 to 90% of transactions that happen in your store typically aren't on loyalty. We just had a competitor announced recently that they're able to target non-loyalty customers, and we're exploring options like that as well. As how do we get that anonymous customer and use data and a connection to them to bring them into your program, and then make the enrollment and identification as they come back really easy for them to do.
I think Jeff touched on a lot of great things there. I think one of the things that we've tried to embrace is an idea of reduced friction, particularly, well, in all aspects of the program. Like Jeff mentioned, you can scan a card number through the app. You can enter your phone number at the PIN pad. Very simple, very efficient. We're really excited about what Jeff had mentioned. We've been working on getting the SMS registration live, which will provide a more seamless way for guests to enter into the program. That's kind of always been like, not necessarily a point of like friction or contention, but with any loyalty program, we have to have enough information to be able to target guests based on their behavior, right? To be able to truly have a relationship of communication going both ways based on their activity in our stores, and then for us serving up offers that are actually relevant to them. So how do we, make that process smooth for them? Um, One thing with that SMS registration is that hopefully once it's live, the way that we intend to implement it, we'll be able to allow guests to enroll at the POS. They'll get a taste of those savings, those benefits that they can access through our program, and then they'll be served, a text message to be able to complete their registration at a further time to provide that full data, which is, simply things like an email, birthday, completely register their account so they can have access to redeem their points in the app and access all the other great things that we've discussed briefly. So this will help them realize the savings that day, eventually come back and have that completed full circle cycle of communication. And we'll be able to serve even more relevant offers to them. So really excited about that capability and to continue to drive a frictionless experience in our stores and on our guests' phones and computers, wherever they're accessing our program.
Excellent. Thank you. And TriStar Energy has been extremely successful with its online ordering options. Jackson, can you share the impetus for the program and some of your best practices that have helped you achieve success?
Yeah, so online ordering has been something that's been part of our very first program with Patronics from day one. Our customer base, it's really been a part of their daily routine as well, particularly with our White Bison coffee concepts. So White Bison Coffee, for those who may not be familiar with them or who haven't visited our stores, it's a brand that lives within our Twice Daily stores. There are two White Bison standalone coffee shops, which are really great, particularly with the happening coffee scene in the Nashville area. But these guests are guests who are on the move, whether they're students, whether they're picking up their coffee for the day. And so being able to order ahead for pickup or additionally being able to order for delivery through integrations with DoorDash or other delivery partners has really been key. As we've grown with that, we've added made to order food through our Twice Daily stores as well, which is really kind of the impetus that kind of took ordering to the next level for us. Um, as we were analyzing numbers, we just closed 2025. It was really exciting to see that from 2025 to 2024, we saw a continued 29% increase in our ordering sales. Um, and then with those integrations we had touched on, uh, currently we are live through DoorDash. It's been a seamless integration through Paytronics and DoorDash. Um, One of the great things about DoorDash is that we look at it as truly building incremental sales. Sometimes these are guests who may not have even physically been in a twice daily or a sudden service or a little general or whatever store, but they're coming across it for the first time. Um, so this is building new guests, uh, new guest behaviors. Hopefully they'll stop by in store in the future as well. But as we've fully integrated our stores with DoorDash and delivery, in 2025, we saw a 495% increase in DoorDash sales alone. So having these avenues have been extremely successful. I think in general, just based on our different store concepts, our different brands, our little general stores, for example, are located in more sparsely populated regions of West Tennessee. These guests generally have fewer options just living in smaller towns and rural regions. And so this new option has had really positive feedback there. And we've seen how it's further cemented loyalty and shopping habits in these communities. Um, One thing that I've also noted just today is as our community goes through sometimes difficult times related to adverse weather, um, it's been interesting to look at the effect that it has on ordering and sales. Um, our stores, to the extent that they can, those that haven't lost power are able to remain open 24/7. And so for me, it's been kind of a full circle moment. Sometimes we get caught up in the day to day, but in some ways, it's been kind of a blessing for me to look at it, how our stores can provide hope. Um, in times when people don't have power, maybe people don't have access to food, or whether it's even just comfort food, things that are essentials or not essentials, just things that are comfort to people, maybe things that aren't otherwise available, but people are finding them through our stores, through delivery and through our ordering. So that's been kind of an interesting aspect that's been on my mind recently as well. But it's been exciting to see the growth, particularly with ordering as it's um, built into our guests' daily routines, and generally also sometimes how it brings in new guests who maybe it's not part of their daily routines yet.
Yeah, I think I just jump in there. I think I'd say is it all starts with a great product that I think while there is an opportunity for other retailers we work with that maybe don't have as strong of a food service offering to leverage online ordering. You mentioned the DoorDash piece. A lot of the DoorDash orders are things where you're adding on those center store CPG items. Maybe they are getting a pizza from somewhere else and there was a packaged beverage or ice cream or other things. And it's great with the DoorDash to be able to extend that footprint to a new customer and ultimately bring that new customer in, maybe even the DoorDash driver themselves if they're not even in the loyalty program. But obviously starts with being able to have a great product that people naturally want to order ahead rather than just stop by and pick up. I think made to order and other initiatives and bakery has been, really great for them there. And then it's using, not only the ways to drive more people in, but you sort of think about online ordering as a way of someone joining your loyalty program. Well, you don't want them to just join. You want them to join and try and then try again. And, we have a lot of scoring tools, which we may get into further down the conversation around, how we can target customers based on them maybe only trying online ordering once or never having online ordering and continue to be able to provide aggressive offers to those guests that aren't your loyal ongoing online ordering members and driving repeat and growth. So again, I think it requires a great product and having a wide group of customers in loyalty, but then using the right incentives to drive trial and repeat into your online ordering business as well, and using partnerships like DoorDash to extend the reach even further.
And as we're talking about loyalty, I'm sure that you get incredible value from the data that you receive from these guests. And in turn, they get value through the loyalty program. So, how does your online ordering function integrate with your program? Jackson?
Yeah, so if a guest is logged into the app, um, they can, and I should say that app ordering is also available online through our website. Um, but if they are logged into their respective account, then they can take advantage of loyalty offerings to earn or redeem points. So our ordering is integrated with Patronics and our loyalty program, which is through Patronics. So guests can apply rewards that are in their account or even apply points that are available towards applicable items that are available to be redeemed for points. And then they can access promotional pricing as well through our menus if they're rewards members. One example that comes to mind, so myself, I'm a big sports guy. We've mentioned some of our partnerships, and as many are aware, there's a big football game coming up in a week or so. So I always enjoy that, we're able to run promos, whether it's with partners or even just around, big sporting events or big pop culture events, whatever it may be. So we'll be running a rewards offer at the weekend of February 6th through the 8th that will provide value for those, specifically when we're talking about Twice Daily who want to order made to order subs, chips, and drinks from our Twice Daily stores. So with this offer being available through ordering and delivery, our base of rewards guests that we can reach is expanded, as well as those who maybe are looking to join rewards and access those benefits. Additionally, this integration is particularly important for our different menus and in our different programs, channels, and promotions that we're running, as not all of our brands offer the exact same things. So we're able to really segment it based on things like partnerships with vendors, things like availability of products, and things that we're offering.
Jeff, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot more. I guess it just, you think about what we see is that the online ordering customers, in terms of the data, they tend to be a much more valuable customer. Someone who completes an online order is most likely, outside of maybe if they're driven trial through DoorDash, coming to you in the store as well. But this is a way to, without online ordering, we try to get guests to maybe buy a new category or something. With online ordering, there's another engagement channel that can provide value to them. And the more people we see there, then we measure, right, their overall spend and visit behavior versus those that don't. And it's not only getting them to try that product, it's actually, we can show in the data that it makes them a more valuable customer, more engaged customer. So, and that's why we can sort of think about, well, one, is it worth investing in getting a person not only try it once, but come back multiple times? Because we know if they create a more sticky customer and they're more valuable, and then there's a lot more we can do with them as we learn more about their behavior over time across multiple visits.
Excellent, thank you. And then once you have that loyalty data, how do you use it to track sales trends and incentivize purchases? I'm sure you both have thoughts here. Jackson, let's start with you.
Yeah, so I think this is where it really gets exciting and where working with Jeff in particular is a big benefit. So we're able to segment guests based on their purchasing behavior and their history routines. That's why, like we discussed earlier, it's really important that we have the necessary information so that we can communicate and also serve offers based on their purchase behavior to things that they're interested in. So, I mean, ultimately, the opportunities are endless. And we've run lots of different campaigns for different reasons. A couple come to mind, or a couple of scenarios that come to mind. We can offer great incentives for first-time users to incentivize trial. Um, I've mentioned some of our sports partnerships. These have been really successful. You got a lot of people who have eyes on these assets, the Tennessee Titans and NFL team. Lots of people who may already know about Twice Daily, lots of people who don't maybe know about Twice Daily, and that we offer great food. Sometimes that's not always top of people's mind when thinking about a C store if they haven't had that experience before. So for us, thinking back, we've partnered with the Titans for a couple years now, but in 2024, we had just launched made to order burgers, which are really good, I'll add as well. If you're ever in Nashville, you have to try one of our made to order burgers. Anyway, so we were just launching these at the time, and we had a promotion with the Titans where if they scored under the 2-minute warning in a game, then all rewards members, including those who join the app the next day, would be able to redeem a free made to order burger. So for us, this was huge. We wanted to get burgers in people's mouths. We wanted people to know that we have quality food that tastes good, um, and that should be a consideration, an option when you're looking for a burger. In addition to the other places that maybe come to mind. Um, and so for us, the results were really strong. It led to more same-day registrations to our twice daily rewards program than any other promo that we've run with a sports partner. Additionally, 68% of our redeemers were new to the category. So they'd never had a burger, never had made to order food before from us. So this was huge. It accomplished our goal of getting food and our made to order food in people's mouths. The other exciting part, there's a lot of things to consider when running a loyalty program. Sometimes maybe there's a natural friction with like the accounting part of the company. What's the return on investment on this? For us, it was big to be able to say, hey, 40% of the redeemers of this specific promotion purchased again. So they came back, got a burger, got made to order food, and they're spending money. So this is great. We're building a customer base. We're building um, continued visits to our stores. A couple of different scenarios that come to mind. We can introduce them to new categories. So, like we discussed, serving up an offer for a new type of item. We could target one segment based on their behavior, and then send them an offer for a different, um, item based on behavior. Another type of promotion we can run is a bounce back campaign. Um, One example, targeting a regular sub purchaser who's maybe out of the habit. We haven't seen them come back and purchase a sub in a while. So offering up something enticing, hopefully getting them back in that habit and that routine again. But ultimately, thanks to the robust data we collect, Jeff had mentioned how Patronics has scoring systems that we can use and be able to implement them into campaigns that we can run and then track. And when we also partner with vendors, with vendor funding, that unlocks more opportunities for being able to run these types of campaigns. So these are always things that we're considering and evaluating as we're working with Patronics in our programs.
Cool. Yeah, I just add, Jackson cited, Rhett, I think was it 40% of customers who
Hmm.
got the free burger came back and bought again. And I think it's important to know, like, they're spent a lot of money on that, but that was A, to support a new product initiative, and B, you had a lot of people coming back. And that's actually surprisingly high. I mean, that means that's a really good product, which I can actually validate. I've been down there and had the burger, and it is solid. We normally see return rates when items are given away free as, maybe 20 to 30% or most. So the fact that it was a quality product enticed more, but you're always going to have that 60% that didn't, or whatever percent. The really cool thing we can do, though, is understand some of those people are clearly just what we would say cherry pickers, whenever the right term is, right? Where they were at the game, they're like, I can go get a free burger. Maybe they don't even live there and they were just in town, but there the next day and got their free burger. You're going to have some percentage of them. But there's a certain percentage of those others that didn't come back. We can look at the data and say, hey, in a month from now, 40% came back and tried. So let's not bother with them anymore. Maybe we give them a sort of surprise and delight dollar off a burger offer. But those other ones, we can be aggressive. And maybe we'll only get 10 or 20% of them to come back with maybe not a free burger, maybe a half price or a buy one, get one free burger. And we can drive another 10, 20% back. And we can create sort of journeys that say, hey, out of those people that redeemed, those people and came back, surprise and delight offer. Those people that didn't within a month, buy one, get one free. And then have these journeys that allow people months after to try to wean as much out of that as you can and drive people into re-engaging. Then for the people that engage in their normal behavior, we can look at other scores, as Jackson referenced. We have advanced segmentation, which puts people into a once or twice a month visitor, a low frequency customer versus a daily customer. A lot of times we might just want to, maybe that daily customer that got the free burger and came back and buy it, maybe they don't need any other promotion as it relates to that. We've got them hooked, if you will. But those other people, what we can do to continue to optimize and grow by way of understanding who they are for a customer that we know only comes in historically once or twice a month, maybe it's BOGO burgers for a week straight or a month straight, because if they actually took advantage of anywhere near those offers, it would be so much incremental to what they had done before. So it's utilizing all the other scoring. We have discount sensitivity scoring and things like that can help us predict what offers will work. But once you have that base, did they buy? Did they not? Did they return? We can get more sophisticated and make the most out of a promotion. And then it just becomes that footprint for whether it's a CPG offer, of energy drinks or something, using that same sort of trial, repeat, and nurture program with our advanced messaging products and advanced segmentation.
That's great. Thank you so much. One way that C stores can offset program costs is by leveraging dollars available from manufacturers, such as tobacco companies and CPGs, through retail media networks. Jeff, what should C store operators know about these programs?
I think retail media networks is kind of a catch-all, it seems these days. There's a very specific point. It's, obviously providing media dollars and getting value and having those brands, CPGs, pay for exposure in your app or for redemptions. Obviously sort of begins and starts, or starts and ends, I should say, with tobacco. It's just such a huge pool of funding, and what Altria programs and RJR programs and other manufacturers, it's really critical to make sure that you get the block and tackling done and all of the offers are there. You're maximizing all your incentives with those programs. But we do see with the extension of retail media, it broadening to more wanting data, and other CPGs wanting to leverage in and having aggregators like Axonet with we partner with, or others that help bring data and monetize the value of that data back to CPGs. And where we tend to interact beyond just the sharing of the data is the actual offers, because a lot of times those arrangements involve offers in addition to the media value for those CPG partners that we can implement within loyalty. And whether that's part of a retail media network or an offer we're trying to get with energy drinks to win back a customer that we lost, right? We get those, try to get most of those, if not all of those, funded by vendor partners. And the reason they're willing to do that, especially in loyalty, even more so, is we're not only just putting away a redemption that they can't measure, we're actually measuring the impact that has on that customer. And we can go back and say to a CPG like a Monster, saying, well, not only did you have 1,000 redemptions of people of this, but 400 of them never bought your product before and were maybe a competitor. And the retailer wins because they're using vendor money to get a person to come in and win that customer back into a category to the store in general. So I think what you see with tobacco in terms of the collection of data and the monetization of that data is what we're seeing extend into the general CPG way by way of retail media networks. And I think that will continue to grow. This is a huge channel for many. You think about energy drinks. I don't think there's a better spot they could spend their money. And what better way to do that through retail media and through loyalty programs instead of just discounts available to everyone, because that's where we can measure and they can justify their expenditure and we continue to grow that. So yeah, tons of there. It's ever evolving field, but tons of opportunities for retailers to get a good portion of the rewards of their programs funded by these vendor partners and manufacturers.
Excellent. Thank you. And then, Jackson, what are some ways that TriStar Energy takes advantage of these programs?
Yeah, I think for us, we've really started focusing on, I think every year that we've had our programs, we've tried to build upon them and really try to access the funds that are available to us. I think some of our most successful promotions during the summer, we run a Summer of Fun promotion that's filled with lots of different offers, including freebies, member pricing, and prizes and sweepstakes. We also run top of mind recently. It was just the holidays, of course. We run a 12 days of Christmas promotion through all of our programs that is really popular. And it's 12 days of free items. So vendors fund this, and there's also prizes that are funded. So there's a giveaway through the app every day with pretty awesome prizes. We've done things like vouchers for trips or iPads, gaming systems. we just gave away a surfboard, which I was laughing about because I'm like, well, we live in Tennessee, but I guess there's a wake surfboard. Anyway, not to get too off track. So that's something that you can do, of course, on a lake. But anyway, you know, we by accessing those vendor funds, you know, we're able to work with our category managers. Our vendors are able to get new products into our guests' hands, are able to promote them in ways that are really beneficial for everyone. And you know, our vendors, our category managers are always willing to try new things. So we get connected with the right people. We have a rebate manager as well, very helpful, who helps us, you know, leverage those relationships and then track those for accountability. We also have a strong partnership with our creative agency who help us with the digital marketing, videos that you see at the pumps, the emails that we send out, and the app messages. So it really is a team effort. It takes a lot of planning, but like we've learned every year, the earlier ahead that we plan, the more organized that we are, the smoother it goes. And it's really a win-win for us as well as our vendors. So would wholeheartedly recommend that um, those operators out there also take advantage of their partnerships with their vendors, because it's something that I think can really set you apart, and I think it's a win-win.
Excellent. Thank you both for sharing these actionable insights. I know that all our attendees will be logging off with an exciting idea that they can bring to their team, whether it's using data in new ways to shake up their rewards or tapping their vendors to bring added value to the brand and C-store customers through fresh partnerships. I know we only have a couple more minutes with both of you today, but before we go, I would like to ask if you have just maybe one final thought that you can leave us with today, maybe even like 60 seconds or less. Jeff, we'll start with you.
Okay. Um, I would say, we talked a lot about a lot of cool stuff here today, especially at the end around how do you maximize the dollars in retail media networks and tobacco. But if you think about back to what we started with, if it's all about having a program that is valuable to customers, easy to understand, and frictionless to join. And because if we have several customers that are, say you're running a tobacco program and you're at 5% penetration and 95% of your customers on loyalty, well, you're putting the same effort in with the conversations, but the same customer that's at 40% penetration, they're getting 8 times the value and then some, right? So I think it's all about how do you make sure you design a simple program that's easy to understand, to know how you're going to get value out of it, and promote frictionless enrollment in any way possible. And then the last thing, it's operations is the face of your organization, the team members in the store. If it's simple and easy for them to explain, and you have an employee tier where they're getting value, they're going to be advocates for the program. They're going to help you grow to those higher levels of participation, and everything you do to monetize the program is going to be X fold, however much you grew it as a result of a simple, easy, and frictionless program. So just don't forget about the basics. You're going to get more bang for your buck growing it to the right participation level, so you can maximize all the incentives that we're talking about here.
Jackson, final thought?
Yeah, I echo everything that Jeff said. I think what's been key for us is uh, there really has been a good marriage of our partnership with Patronics. I think a marriage of our offerings, um, and really understanding our community. You know, TriStar been functioning for a while, long before I was here, and so I was able to come in and really hit the ground running, and you know, be supported by a great team at Patronics and also here at TriStar. Um, I think I would echo what Jeff said about, you know, having buy-in from operations, having a good relationship, um, with your store managers, with your operations leaders. Um, we've really tried to implement a DNA where loyalty is part of our company's DNA. And it takes work, and it takes continual effort and reminders and focus. But I do think that for any loyalty program to succeed, you do need to have a strong foundation. And you know, that's the same with anything, right? But yeah, I think overall it does unlock more doors when you have that strong foundation and you're able to really segment and then run these fun targeted campaigns based upon that.
Excellent. Perfect place to wrap up, which is great because I know the audience as well for tuning in. If you asked a question, please don't worry. Someone will deliver an answer to you via email. And this webinar will also be available on demand if you want to review anything that we talked about. Thanks again for watching.